Good evening, race fans. My name is James Bailey, and welcome to the fourth event of our second Zwift Women's Racing Series. Tonight we're at Oh Hell No, and I'm joined by Susan Clark.
Hi, James. Thanks for having me. So welcome, everybody. That's right. This is race number 4 in our Zwift Women's Racing Series for the summer edition, where we are testing out the very exciting new Zwift Racing Score. And James, do you want to take a couple of minutes just to tell our viewers about the Zwift Racing Score?
Yeah, absolutely. So in its very simplest form, every rider has a score between 0 and 1,000. The 5 categories are then set up based on score ranges, so 0 to 220, 220 to 330, 330 to 415, 415 to 540, and 540 to 1,000. Your score is determined essentially by how well you do in races. So if you beat racers with a score higher than you, your score goes up. If racers with a score higher than you beat you, then your score goes down. And that's essentially it in its most simplistic form. It's a very complicated algorithm. I won't even try to explain exactly how it works, but essentially, if you do well in races, your score goes up.
Well, it's very exciting so far, James, absolutely. And we're seeing lots of women's scores migrate up and down as we see them racing week to week. Let's take a few minutes to look at the series standings here. Let's see how it's going. And I just wanted to point out that as you're looking at the screen, you might see 150, 150, 149, 149. The scores look relatively close right now. And that's because we have 4 races in 4 different time zones on Tuesdays and 1 race on Saturdays. So there's 5 chances each week for a first place podium, second place, third place down the line. So right now these scores look fairly similar, but remember, this series is best 6 out of 8. So some scores are going to get dropped as the series goes on. So in Cat 1, which is Pen A, Frida Conquest, Holly Diop, Kimberly Hoekstra, Sarah Roach, Elise Gallegos, Telma Torresdottir, Tennille Otto, Rachel Lieberman, Louise Gams, and Karen Baines.
In category 2, we've got Alicia, who's up at the top, along with Fanny Josephine, both on 150 points. We've got Katrina Weiss, Tina Jareth, Caroline Bales, Natalie Smith, Sarah Donoff, Anna Longdale, Nicole Aschenbrenner, and finally in 10th place, Vanessa Bieber.
Fantastic. And in Cat 3, or the Pen C, Valerie Ramirez, Susan Allen, Katie Atkins, Nina Innes, Sweet Hamathy, Lisa Hines, Netta, Maggie Lowe, Susan Clark, I'm in there, and Amber Nordstrom.
In 4, we've got category 4, we've got Tammy Cook, T. Sperry, Katie Atkins, Nina Ines, Sweet Hamathy, Lisa Hines, Netta. I'm just rereading.
You sure were.
Sorry,
let's go to Cat 4.
I was getting distracted because our video producer decided to try and phone me on Discord at the same time, which is a little bit difficult. But sorry, Cat 4, Tammy Cook, T. Sperry, Joe Graham, Laura Fury, Maggie Keane, Sarah McLeod, Margaret Thompson, Courtney Schwain, Erin Hearn, and Helen Backhouse.
And finally, in Cat 5, we've got Carolina Makaya, Diane Chu, Jeanette S., Teresa Davitt, Yvette Ashman, Miriam Gershanon, Connie, Lucy, Labassie Lashley, and Kay Watson. So congrats, gals. Those are your top 10s in each category. So let's move on to look at the 8-race series. James, let us know where we are in this great series.
So we are race 4, Oh Hell No, which is one of our short scratch races. The route is 8 kilometers long with an elevation gain of 306 meters, which is 1,004 feet. It is a straight up and straight down course. So we'll be climbing for let's call it Cat ones are probably going to do it around about 15 minutes, and then we'll be looking at sort of 25 to 30 for the lower categories. But don't worry, what goes up must come down.
Perfect. And let's take a look at that course profile here. And you are right, that's going straight up. But then at the top, like you mentioned, we turn around and down we fly. And it's a tricky
And
little
the
loop
the
at the
climb
end
is
there.
very much the climb is very much split in two. So you're climbing up the first section, which is a dead straight line, peaks at around about 9-10%. Then you've got a really flat sort of 200 meters to take you up to the switchbacks. They start off relatively easy, but quickly go up to a max of around 13%, and then you get to go back down.
Wow. Incredible. And I looked at the times this morning. We've got times in the Cat 1 pen somewhere around that 17 minutes. Cat B pen was around 18:25 for the top placing. The Cat C pen was around 19:39. The D pen was 22:12. And that Cat E pen was around 24:38. So this is a short scratch, as you promised. So let's head to the pens. Let's take a look at who's in the pens. Not everybody's in the pens yet, but we're seeing them fill out. They're plumping up. Holy, as usual, Cat 5 has got some wonderful numbers in it. Absolutely. Yeah. And speaking of Cat 5 racers, we've been asking the women to tell us a little bit about themselves. So we've got a little bit of details here from one of our racers, from Wendy Weaver. And Wendy joined Zwift from other friends who suggested that when she said she wanted to become fitter, they said, hey, join Zwift, come do this with us. She loves that social part, definitely loves the buzz, the adrenaline, the chase, and the accomplishments. So thanks, Wendy, for giving us a few details throughout this broadcast. We'll be highlighting different folks. And we're pretty close to the Cat 1 start here. We've got 3 folks in the pen. I'm going to move to the live stream here. And let's watch their race start.
Where it go?
Nice. Excellent job. And you'll notice the one person didn't get started. That's our streamer, just who's getting started. So we've got a 2-woman race here in Cat 1.
Yep, we've got Elle Stern and Tina Jarrett racing for Watt Fabric. And the one thing I probably should mention is the finish line is a little bit hard to spot. You go all the way up, then all the way down, round the roundabout, and back towards the hill. And the lap banner is actually the very, very start of the hill climb. So it's a little bit hard to spot, but that is your lap line.
Yeah, that's a tricky finish that not everybody will be thinking about potentially. This is a newer course for us, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely. It was released recently as part of the grade expansion, which was hot for tails of the Southern Coast expansion. So we've got the lovely flat section around the very outside of the map before we added the new climbs. So we've got 3 new KQOMs. We've got the grade, main mountainside, and it's a KQM. So 3 new climbs. Wow. And plenty of variation with some new routes as well, as we see the Cat 2 set off.
Yeah, fantastic. And they are giving her. They've got some good watts going on here and lots of women who are clumping together. A couple of my teammates are in here. I think Becca is signed up today. She's one of our captains in Coalition. And Vanessa Beaver is signed up as well. I'm seeing a lot of really popular common names that we're seeing in most of the races racing today, such as Louise Godfrey is here today. You mentioned Marjolaine from the Herd. One of the Herd organizers is here. Is that correct, James?
Yeah, so Marjolaine, Marilyn, I should say, does a lot of the organising for all of the Herd racing events. So great to see her out today, and hope you go well.
Oh, fantastic! That's great. Let's go back to the Cat 3. I keep calling it Cat C, but it's the C pen, Cat 3. Oh, and we've got a couple of women that look like they maybe are going to attack that hill quickly. They've broken away from the group here. And
Certainly
we were
looks like they
mentioning
want a
the
little head
last couple of
start.
weeks, that's something that we're seeing with the new categorization system. We're still figuring out who's in what category, aren't we, James?
Yep, we are, and there's likely to be some changes at some stage as well. One of the things we have noticed is that for the lighter weight riders, they tend to be scored a little on the low side, whereas if you're on one of the heavier riders, that score may be a little bit high. But we're working on it, and we'll release further updates in due course.
Absolutely. And let's go look at that Cat 4 pin. Oh, they're all together here. That's a nice group. There's still a lot of draft along this bottom section here. Oodles of draft. So smart riders will be saving their energy for that straight up part of the climb. And looking through that list here, I think we see some other familiar names.
I can see Yvonne Rosenvist, who frequently sends me emails asking me to give some of her riders their team kit. Yvonne does a fantastic job for Swedish Zwifters, keeping everyone honest, and they're one of the elite racing teams on Zwift. So thanks for everything you do, Yvonne.
Thanks, Yvonne. Thank you so much. And I see Courtney Swayman there. Jennifer Baker is racing, Louise Potter. So yeah, definitely some familiars that I've even had the pleasure of racing with. Let's go see about Cat 5. There, look at that. Great start, ladies. Great start. I see Andrea from Coalition there. And I'm seeing Mary Franklin from Drafting Dinos. We've got a lot of variety of different clubs racing, different teams here. AEO, Rando, Satonia, Team BMTR, Z-Sun, Herd. We're watching those gals off the back, and they're just a little bit off that draft, James, but I think they're going to be able to close that by the hill here.
Yeah, I think you're right, Susan. One of the things we haven't spoken about yet is bike selection. Do you want to risk a bike change at the top?
I have thought about that all week. I'm a big fan of bike change, and it certainly could make a huge impact. And if you've got a bit of a distance between you and the next person, it could make... That's a really great point, James. And I guess we'll see today whether or not we get to witness that with somebody stopping along the road. Oh, look at that. Biker Mel has listed a little note for us here. I sneaked third this morning because third place was cruising, and I was smashing it round the roundabout. So, James, we were talking about that roundabout. Not everybody realizes the course isn't over at the bottom of the hill.
Absolutely. Good knowledge from
Mel.
Good knowledge from Mel, knowing where the finish line was.
Yeah, and she's saying 20 minutes up, 5 back down. Oh, that's so great. And we're watching as Cat 1, Leah Stern has a firm start here.
She is flying.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think, Susan, coming back to the bike choice, I think there's only one choice. It has to be a full climbing setup. I think the advantage that will give you going up versus the advantage you might get from a TT bike going down, plus the amount of time that it will take you to change, is just not worth it.
It's a good point. It's a good point, especially if you've got an Apple TV. They're not that quick to change. I can tell you that from experience.
There is definitely that with the lovely controller.
Okay, we're looking at Cat 2 here. Seeing some of, and Anna Longdale, she's got a firm start here with Amanda Robinson close behind and Natalie Smith. So they're forming a nice little group. Oh, Amanda's just a little bit off that group, looks like. It looks like it's Anna and Natalie. Nicely done, and they're going into this negative space here before the windy bits.
Yeah, nice. I think this is probably what I find the most annoying part of this route, especially if you've got a higher trainer difficulty because you need to make a lot more gear
Ah,
changes when you go onto the flat.
yeah.
So you've been happily going along at around about 9-10% gradient, and all of a sudden you have to shift up a load of times once you hit the flat, and then down again when you hit the hill again. But
Yeah.
it does give you an opportunity to try and catch on someone's wheel again.
Right. And good point. There's different riders are going to take different parts of this course and do stuff. As we just saw Amanda Wendorf fly right by Lucy Doyle there. Yeah, absolutely. And by Anna, is it Robinson? Amanda Robinson. Yeah. So we've got a few other gals here from different teams. I'm seeing Synergy in our list, seeing Riot. Becca's not too far off the back there. Okay, let's go take a look now into Cat 3. Perfect. Nice start for these gals here. And Zuzka Miskova has a firm start, but Paola Peroni has some pretty good watts going on here.
Yeah, and here we see some of the riders using that draft to try and catch on again.
Yeah, that's smart.
Susan, so let's say you're at the top of the climb, you're about to hit the downhill again. Are you going all out sprint to try and get your speed as high as possible?
I've thought about that. So there's a couple of ways to approach this. You could settle into time trial mode on that top flat bit, which is 0%, and then punch it on the downhill. But we will see some women save a little bit near the top of this climb, I think, and they will try to get themselves up to quite a speed on the flat part. And so I think we'll see a variety of responses to that hill. And some high watt riders, they're able to tip down that hill. If they put just a bit of power down, they're going to be flying. Whereas some of the lighter riders that maybe don't produce as high a watts, they might have to work quite hard to stay away from somebody coming behind them. And Cat 4, looking at the Cat 4 folks here. Jelka doing well again this week. I got to watch Elka on the Mountain Mash climb like nobody's business here. So we're on another hilly course. There's Joe Graham from Crush Pod and Elisa Karen. So apologies for saying your names incorrectly. Definitely sorry about that. Looks like we got a cryo racer in here as well. Yeah. And Louise Potter has some really good watts here on this 0% section. And this is where some riders, James, do you think on this 0%, some of the riders will just, try to close that gap, get a little slingshot into this 5% here?
I think, Susan, to be honest, it depends on how hard they pushed on the first half of the climb. They may want to just use it as a little bit of respite just before they go hard again going up, or they might want to try and actually push really hard on the flat bit to try and give themselves a little bit of a break from other riders.
Yeah, good point. And I think that's the thing, is how hard do you go in the first part, because you've got all that windy climbing coming, hey?
Yeah, especially if it's a route you haven't done before, so you're not certain how long the climb's actually going to take. But here we've got Labasi Lashley from BMTR. Before we very quickly just switch over to Pilar Casada, who is racing for, so small I can't read it, racing for Team Suarez.
Oh, fantastic. And speaking of Labasi, one of the things that she mentioned to us when we asked for some information was that she got into Zwift racing through Zwift Academy. And that's coming up right away, right, James?
Yep, the welcome rides are either I believe they're taking place already, before a series of workouts later on in the year.
Yeah, absolutely. So Labasi, thanks for highlighting that for us, because I think not everybody is aware that that's going on this time of year, and it's a great way to learn about racing and training. Absolutely. James, you can speak a little bit to that.
Yeah, so Zwift Academy is a really fun program. There's a whole load of stuff for the community to do. So in the past, we've done welcome rides, base rides, group rides, finishing rides. So you can see what sort of level of improvement you've had between the base ride and the finishing ride, as well as a large number of workouts. The fundamental aim of the program is to get a Zwifter into a pro kit and a pro team. One of my colleagues, Leah Torkelson, was actually the first female Zwifter to win Zwift Academy, and she raced for 12 months in one of the pro teams. So it's a really fantastic opportunity for a large number of people who think they've got what it takes to race with a pro peloton. But
Just fantastic, yeah.
just very quickly, we've got our first of the Cat 1 riders, Leah Stern, just coming around the last corner before she will be able to say goodbye to the hill, and it'll be oh hill no more. It'll be oh yes downhill.
So fun, so fantastic.
And she's just coming over the crest as we speak. I'll tell you, this is an absolutely smashing time. She's going to hit the banner in a smidge over 13 minutes. Super job, Leah.
Yeah, way to go, Leah. And I just got a message from Kelly, who was my co-host 2 weeks ago. She's in this race as well. She's doing a lunchtime race so that she can go help her outside group do some rides this afternoon. So shout out to Kelly Wiggin, who helped be a commentator when James was away, and with ATP Racing. So thank you. And we get to, I think, right now we're watching Tina do the last part of her climb as well. Some of the bees are near the top of this climb. There goes Amanda right over the top. Now we're watching, we haven't seen Amanda do a bike change. She chose a Tron. And let's just see what happens to her watts as she comes through this finish banner here of the hill, which is not the finish of our course. So she's taken a little bit. And now she's trying to decide, how hard do I need to go before? Oh, there we go. She's back up. Changing gears, getting herself. Yeah.
Interesting choice with the Tron, which is an all-rounder. Obviously, she's chosen the pink Tron, which, as we all well know, is the fastest of all Trons, unless you're Dutch, in which case it would be orange. But chosen the fastest Tron colour, important decision. Hopefully that will help her on the downhill.
And let's stay on these Cat 2 riders for a moment here, because let's just see what's going to happen on the downhill. I'm kind of curious. Because again, we've got another rider on a Tron here. Someone else who looks like they maybe have some deep dish wheels on their bike. That looks to me like maybe that's Natalie, is it? No, Natalie's on the Tron. Anna Longdill.
It'll be really interesting to see how these two stay together on the downhill, because you mentioned earlier that some of the lighter ladies may struggle, and actually
look at Anna's watts.
Anna Longdill is trying to break the elastic on the way downhill. It looks like she may have succeeded.
She may have succeeded here. Good job.
Quickly
and shout out to Kelly as she's going up there. Yeah, look at that. But we are seeing Natalie is still there. Oh, 1 second. Look at that. Yeah, Anna is on the hunt. And it looks like 25 seconds from Anna to Amanda. So let's see if that closes. 24 seconds. So we're seeing Anna Longdill making up time on this downhill at quite a quick rate. Amanda is pedaling. She's on the -7% here. And Anna's up to 5.3 watts per kilogram. So you can see her trying to get herself up to some speed, and now trying to probably get back into some sort of a super tuck once it tips downhill again. Oh, this is really interesting, James.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they are powering down and not super tucking, because I would have thought that super tuck would be the fastest way down. Now, if you're in a group, you cannot super tuck, but if you are solo, you can. And my instinct would say super tuck first, sprint to finish line, but
Yeah.
these girls are still pushing on the downhill, so we will
Yeah.
see.
We're watching Rachel here, and she's definitely putting in some effort. And it looked like Emily was maybe going by her there. Oh, look at these watts, James!
Leah's
Holy
just coming to the finish line
smokes!
to take the Cat 1
Nice finish
victory.
for Leah.
Well done,
Yeah,
Leah.
really good finish. Tina's in that super tuck you were talking about. Great job. Fantastic.
Yep. Taking it nice and easy on the downhill, and we're just flattening out, so out of the super tuck. Tina
Nice.
is putting the power down.
Here's
Here
Amanda
we've got,
coming into the finish, yeah?
Yep, she's got a solid lead over Anna Longdale, 18
Ooh.
seconds, so
But
won't
Anna
need a
made
sprint at
up
the end.
almost 10 seconds. Holy smokes. And look how much she made on Natalie.
Yeah, she's put 4 or
Really,
5
really
seconds
good.
into Natalie, so a big push down the hill, which looks to secure the 3rd place.
Yeah, and looks like Lucy is breaking away from Amanda there, a little bit further up the hill. They are also quite close to each other. Yeah, this downhill is adding some interest, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely adds a little bit extra into a climbing event.
Fantastic.
So
Okay.
back we are with the Cat 3s. And this is on Paula. Paula has
Paula's in
a
the
4-second lead over Rachel.
Woo!
So this one is a little bit close and could change over the course of the downhill.
Rachel was making up some time there on that flat bit. And we'll just see what happens here as they both enter into the downhill.
Paula's putting another second or two by super tucking, whereas I think Rachel is. I think Rachel's super tucking now.
There we go. Oh, she's out of the super tuck. She's getting some more speed. Oh, goodness. This is exciting. This downhill is really... And Emily! Holy, she's making back some time now on Rachel. Yep. She's into the super tuck. This little transition's tricky, going back into the 1% here. You got to really watch that.
This could be a really, really close finish to this race because the two girls behind Paula could work together, draft each other, and catch. The gap is now they're both together now, and there's 7 seconds to the front. Probably a little bit too much.
Nice.
Possibly a little bit too much to catch up, but it's certainly all open.
Yeah, and we'll see what kind of watts those girls have near the finish here. Oh, look at this effort here.
This is Marilyn from Herd flying along.
She's got watts going. Holy smokes. Great job, Marilyn. And Becca, look at the watts coming down that hill. Way to go.
There we go.
Nice finish, Becca. Nice finish. James and I spend a lot of time with Becca. She's a great volunteer, very helpful person, super stellar human being.
Does a super job organising the FCC escort group, and Becca's just coming up to the line to finish in 12th position, just ahead of Kelly.
Nicely done. And here comes Kelly. Holy.
Well, here is the finish we're talking about. Here's Paula going for first place and over the line. And Emily has dropped Rachel.
Wow, that was close. That was... Oh, look at this! Oh, use of the power up. Oh, my goodness.
Lauren Reevy battling with...
Just
do
so
not think they're on Zwift power, but... Yep.
Action all
So
over the place
great.
at the end of a race after this downhill. All hills should go up and
Yeah.
down.
Great finish, gals. Great finish.
Well,
Look
at
at
this
that
sprinting
Watts
down
going
the
down
hill.
the hill. On the hunt for, I think, Lisa Bolton here.
I think actually my favourite team name, ATGNI, all the gear, no idea.
That's a great name. Great team name. Fantastic.
And we're continuing to see our riders come to the finish line. This is one of our Cat 4 riders.
Oh, fantastic. And good effort. We're watching some really strong races, especially, this is intriguing, as Kelly mentioned last week, the Cat E and D riders have some really strong racers in them that might be quite lightweight. And so we see on these hilly courses some really strong efforts.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, Susan, I think these times are quicker than I thought they'd be. So they're all going really, really hard and
they're
well.
smashing it.
And here we go, battling the Cat 4s for, I think,
Yeah.
second and third place.
Wow.
Well, Lupot.
What's going on? Oh, there she goes.
There's Joe Graham dropping
is
the hammer.
Unleashing. Saved some
Great
watts.
job, Joey.
Good work. Really great, guys. Really, really great. And we should have Nicola Smith finishing here, Emma Isaacson, Katerina Loca, Chelsea Williams. We'll be seeing some of them. We might even have seen them cross here.
We've got Alicia.
Alicia.
Out of Team Velos.
Nice job, Alicia. Nice firm watts at the end here. And Yelka is coming close behind. And then Kate Gillies will be coming down that hill with Jill Barnes chasing her. So down the hill, we've got Kate Gillies and Jill Barnes that are quite close to each other. Jill's only 2 seconds behind. So and they're heading into this flatter section. Gunhaga is behind there, and she is in a super tuck. Lena. Or Lena.
It's looking like Kate has this one nice and safe. The gap is 2 seconds. Jill is chasing though. This could get quite
Does
tense.
Jill have something magical like an arrow or maybe a feather with a sprint?
Last 100 meters.
Oh, baby. Looks like
Not
Kate took
quite.
that. Great job for both of you. Absolutely.
Lena.
And Ali's coming from Crush Pod, I can see as well. Blair Noel. Cat 5. This is Pilar. Nice finish.
Looks like a 30-second victory at the top of the fives.
That's right, but there's Labassi coming. Great job. And again, she's an organizer with BMTR. And does a lot of work helping. If you're thinking, hey, I wish I could help and be part of a club, you can. You can go to Zwift Insider, look up under women's racing. You'll see a listing of all the clubs. So if you happen to be racing today and you don't have a club yet, you can join a group. And we'd love to have you help out. Love to have you just come and participate. You don't have to help with every club that you join, but you can come and participate. But it does take a village to make things happen. So we're always looking for people who'd like to pitch in and assist.
And everyone is always more than welcome to come and join in on any event type on Zwift. But we hope you'll join our women's races. And we've got 4 to go after this one, which we're just finally drawing towards the conclusion. But still a lot of action still to come.
We've got JJ finishing here. I'm just looking to see who's behind her. Jessica Lee. So this is Janelle Jolly. And she's got coming quite quickly behind her, but still 30 seconds. So she's going to have a safe finish here in 4th place in Cat 5. And down the hill comes Jessica Lee. 5 watts per kilogram. Wow. Nice.
Look at those fire socks go.
Woo! Way to go, Jessica, with Team ART.
Not hanging around at all. Fire socks are plenty, which is what we like to see.
Yeah, and in Cat 4, we've got Susie Y finishing as well. Good job. And that feels so good on the finish. I rode this the other day, and the finish definitely feels nice. Just to
Well, it feels
done.
a lot nicer than what you've been doing for pretty much 90% of the rest of the time.
That's so steep. Oh my gosh. I'm already feeling sorry for myself for later today. And we got Rena Frankel finishing out the Cat D's. And Rena is powering down this hill. She's kind of pedaling easy right now, but now we're going to see her kind of come into this -10, -10% downhill. Might as well enjoy the downhill ride and then cruise into the finish. So fantastic. Let's head back to Cat 5 again. Just a few more gals coming through. Okay. Geraldine Hope. Very good. And I saw Andrea's in here. Oh, look at this mix, James. We've got a little race here. Holy
three
smokes.
riders. Who has the sprint? So we've got Geraldine, we've got Louise, and I think it's Armit in there as well.
Helmet's in there, I think, as well. And they're chasing Beam Rack down. My goodness, this is so exciting. What's going to happen in the finish? Who's drafting? Who's saving? And Andrea from Coalition was just behind them, but she just can't quite close it. Did anyone save a power-up, or did they all have arrow? Oh, there goes. Oh, Geraldine. Oh, my gosh. And looks like Mandy saved a little for the finish here. Great job. And Almit is finishing. Nice work. Claire Heathcote, I saw you coming down the hill, and there Vinette as well. And Vinette gave us a little bit of information as well here, and thanks Vinette so she got into Zwift racing, keeping up fitness during the lockdown of COVID. She races predominantly indoors, and she likes it because it allows you to race with everyone around the world without leaving your house. Well, just so true, absolutely. And she had a favorite Zwift racing moment. She sprinted ahead, hoping to get a decent head start on Mountain Mash, and had that 3-second gap for a little while. So way to go, Vinette. And we saw that 2 weeks ago. So
I asked Vinette what her name actually meant, because I've never heard of it before. Apparently it translates to Little Vineyard.
Oh,
I don't know about you, Susan. I don't know about you, Susan, but I'd rather a large vineyard to a small one, but it's still a lovely name.
Well, lovely, lovely. And good use of that feather at the end. Fantastic. And coming back, Isabel. We're watching her finish. And Claire Heathcote's coming down the hill after her. So let's watch Isabel's finish here. Great job, Isabel. Nice riding today. Good climbing. Fantastic. And Claire Heathcote is screaming down the hill with a super tuck here. Nice job, Claire, and thanks for coming out. Claire is one of my teammates, and behind Claire we have Joan Paulin and we have Ellen Longmate. So they are very close to each other as well. We've got another race coming down the hill, down the mountain. Fantastic. And Claire's really holding that super tuck for a long time, and some riders can. It's all about your speed. And James, what allows us to do the super tuck for speed?
I haven't had to super tuck in so long, Susan.
Oh, 58 kilometers per hour is the magic number we got to get to. And I think less than 2% grade or something going downhill. Good job, Claire. Nice strong finish. So we've got these Oh, looks actually like Ellen Longmate did pull away from Joan. So we've got a bit of a gap now. Ellen managed to get herself down that mountain just a little bit faster. So great job to her. And she's going to finish nicely. Good work. And Joan's coming in. And we've got some more gals coming down the hill here. Oh, look who's coming behind her. Heard, who is this? Pauline?
That's
Pauline is
Watson.
screaming down the hill. Good job, Pauline. Way to super tech your way down. Oh, she's coming in. Did she save something for that finish? I feel like this is where you sprint. I know this feels like far, but you got to be able to get by the gal in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I think the moment you hit the roundabout, you need to put the hammer down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you really do. And Hannah's finishing. Great job to Hannah. And then we've got Andrea V from Herd. She's coming in hot with Wendy coming in behind her. We talked about Wendy a little while ago, and thanks, Wendy, for giving us some details about yourself. Her advice to a new woman racer: do not give up. When she started with the TTT group that she's riding with, she couldn't keep up. She couldn't take a pull. She thought she was holding her team back, but she was determined to stick with it, and now she is an integral part of that team. The team spirit's fantastic. So she's saying, don't give up. Just come and participate and keep trying to improve every week.
Look
at this finish here. Wow. Great job. And who am I? Oh, some people have different names in the stream than they do on our Zwift Power here. But good job to Try-Sai. Try-Sai here. That might be Sarah Alonby. Really great job. And a little further. Oh, no, Sarah, I see you on the course there. So this might be Verity Horner. Great job. And we've got Lois Springsteen coming as well. And Sarah Allenby. Great work. Verity Horner. Fantastic job, everybody. Really great work.
I think one of the fantastic things I'm seeing from tonight's race is practically everybody's finishing.
Yep.
No one's giving up halfway up. What's a pretty brutal hill. I mean, obviously you've got the downhill to look forward to, but the number of people starting and finishing is fantastic. So super job, everybody. As we see Sarah on towards the descent. Well done,
absolutely, Sarah, you're going to get to go downhill, which is just so fantastic here. Enjoy the ride down. It feels so good when you get to this part, James. When I rode it the other day, you know, you get to the zero and you're like, oh man, there's still course left. But then you start tipping downhill and you're like, oh yeah, that's the ticket, right? That's the ticket.
Yep.
That feels good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. And we've got a couple of gals in the Cat 5 pen that are just about at the top of that climb, and they're just doing so fantastic, and we wish them well. Should we go take a quick look at our... Oh, we've got the live results on the side here. Thanks, Damon, for putting those up. So we can see in Cat 5 there and Cat 4 some different placings that people had, the top 10. So if you were wondering what the splits were, you can see those on the left-hand side of your screen. Fantastic. Look at that super tuck. Really great. James, why is it still showing watts for her?
I do not know.
That's an interesting thing. Well,
Yeah.
enjoy the ride down, Sarah.
Yeah, very
Regardless.
strange, unless there's a little bit of a lag between her stopping and what it's displaying on the screen.
Sure, absolutely could be. That's for sure. And it looks like Lois Springsteen is also out there doing very well. Just finishing up the top of that climb. And then Verity Horner as well. Really great choice. Look at that, another Tron. Another great choice. So that looks great, Lois. And I like how you've got it decorated. That's a cool color. Absolutely. And her team is Team Rando. So thanks for joining from your team. And we'll maybe just go to Verity Horner as well, just to say hi to her, because Verity is on Team Satonia. And look at that. Verity has just finished the top of that climb. And she's going to get all of the enjoyment of going down that hill.
Great job, Verity.
So congrats to everybody today. Way to go.
Yep, super effort, everyone. Susan, why don't you just take us through the Cat 1 results?
Sounds good. So we had 2 women today. If you're a Cat 1 racer or a Cat A racer, we'd love to see you come out and participate in the Zwift Women's Racing Summer Series. But today we had Leah Stern and Tina Gerath. So way to go for both of you. Some really strong performances.
In Cat 2, top of the pops was Amanda Wendorf, followed by Anna Longbill, Natalie Smith, Lucy Doyle, Amanda Robinson, Julia Pelot, Gemma Thompson, Anthony Oliver, Angelique Nell, and Louise Godfrey.
Fantastic. And in Cat 3, top 10, Paula, Emily, Rachel, Marie-Pierre, Zuzka, Lauren, Marcella, Gretchen, Gabriella, and Emma. Way to go, gals. Some really tight races there.
And Susan doesn't want to play the surname game anymore, but I will continue with Cat 4. Cat 4, won by 4-star, followed by Joe Graham, Louise Potter, Alicia Caron, Gillette DeVries, Kate Gillies, Jill Barnes, Lena Gunhager, Yvonne Rosenquist, and Ali Strafford.
Fantastic. And in Cat 5, top 10, we had Pilar, we watched that finish, and Labassi, Janelle, Jessica, Mandy, Geraldine, Louise, Elmet, Andrea, and Vanette. And some really close races. Hey, James, what do you call a hill with a sense of humor?
I don't know. What do you call a hill with a sense of humour?
Hilarious.
Oh, dear.
Oh, this was fantastic.
Yep, super effort from everyone who took part. I don't know, Susan, do you think our video producer will be ready to show us what we're doing next week?
Let's see. Damon, you got something for us for next week? So we've gone through race 1, race 2, race 3, race 4, and next week we're going to see the Neokyo All-Nighter. One lap of that.
It's a 25-kilometer route with 25-kilometer route. You see all of Neokyo, and we'll also go over the rooftop KQON, and a little bit of a bumpy section up towards the railway as well. But generally, if you're a flat earther, you will like this route.
Yeah, but that railway can have some defining points for a race, especially for a scratch race. That could make the difference. Although it's quite a ways to the finish, hey?
Yeah, you've got some bumps, so it's not quite your Tempest Fugit flat, but there are a couple of places where you can make an attack. But I'd expect to see some decent-sized splits happening on rooftop KQN.
Wonderful. Well, James, thanks so much for having me this week. I really appreciate being allowed to commentate with you.
It's been a pleasure having your company, Susan. And thanks for everyone that's watched and for your company as well.
Absolutely. And just keep in mind again for next week, if you are racing in this time zone, please give a shout, even if it's just to on the Facebook to reach James to let him know you might want to give us some details on our forum. We love to chat about people. We love to brag about what you've been up to. So make sure to be in contact if you would like that forum. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great week.
Good night.